Hello and welcome back. My name is Tim Asias, and today I will be doing a tutorial on how to build a redstone copper bulb flashing sign like the one you see behind me that is showing the wheat building. The wheat display gives you this flickering redstone copper bulb. Each of the letter sections are 6 tall by 5 wide, so today I'm just going to be showing how to build the simplistic just one letter portion, so 6 tall by 5 wide. So let's get to it. So this right here will show you all of the blocks and items needed to be able to make one individual 6 tall by 5 wide area. So 30 copper bulbs, 51 of any kind of building block. I'm using kind of a unique one. 30 observers, 37 redstone repeaters, 6 redstone torches, 10 redstone dust at least. It depends on how far you want the redstone to go. The redstone link, this is out of the create mod. There is a way that you can do this with just using redstone components, but this is a simple way to do it for a sign like what I made. And then also a lever. So let's get to the build. First things first, we want to take and make our 5 wide and 6 tall. Now we have the 5 by 6 wall for the copper bulbs. So we will focus on the redstone portion. The next thing we're going to do is place 5 of your random building blocks. And then take an observer. And this can be a little bit fickle on where you want to place it, but you want to attach it just a little bit to that corner there. Move a little bit. And you want it to show that the arrow is going into it, or if I was to remove this block, that the face is facing outwards right there. So go ahead and place all of the rest of the observers. And all of them are facing towards the copper blocks. I'm then going to add a second row of my random building blocks. I'm now going to add another layer of observers directly on top of these random building blocks. And you need to be careful on how you are placing these. You want it facing the same exact way, facing where it's actually facing the copper blocks, and to where the face itself is looking outwards from it. Place 5 more of those. Quick side note, I accidentally messed up after I was done recording this, but beneath these observers, there should be redstone repeaters facing in the same direction as the rest of them. So delete those blocks underneath those observers and put in redstone repeaters. I get into it a little bit later in the video, but I don't want people to get confused and not understand why the bottom row is not working. I'm then going to take my redstone repeater and place those directly along here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on top of my observers right here. Then I want to attach, again, some more of your random building blocks. I'm then going to fill in this area. And then do another layer of our observers directly above that building block. Placing these observer blocks can be a little bit of a pain. It will not let me place it to where it's facing the right direction, so I'm just going to tear these out. And I'll get it fixed and then jump back in so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Right now, those observers are placed correctly. I'm going to get rid of these because I was using these as filler block. Now that those are removed, I'm going to go ahead and replace the redstone repeaters that I dug out. Not everything works out exactly as you planned every time. Now I need observers directly over these repeaters right here, but to not run into the issues that I just had earlier, I'm going to place some disposable blocks right here. That way I can place my observers. And then I'll tear these out and replace these with more of our repeaters. And like that, our blocks are gone. So I will now add in our redstone repeaters. And then I want to fill in this back portion towards the copper bulbs with more of our random blocks. Next, I'm going to place some of our filler blocks up here above these redstone repeaters on the outside edge. And as I did below, I'm going to place in on top of our observers just some filler blocks so I can place our observers in the proper way to where they're still pointing in towards the copper bulbs. Okay, maybe this is easier. Nope. Again, these are very fickle, so it can be a little bit of a pain, but you want to make sure everything is placed the exact precise way. I now want to tear out these center blocks right here that are above our observers because we were using those just to place these observers up top. Now that those are torn out, I can place my next row of our repeaters. For the final layer, I'm going to place some of the throwaway blocks that will be torn out, but that way I can actually place my observers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then tear out these blocks that are connected to it. I'm then going to put in my row of repeaters on this outside edge. And then fill in this center portion with our blocks to connect it to the copper bulbs. Now to finish it up, I'm going to add a block here where these redstone repeaters are, one onto this observer, and just crisscross my way up. Should be 6 overall, so into this observer. So just crisscross back and forth on here. And then you want to add a redstone torch here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and don't forget here. And the last portion of this is to place a repeater connecting into this bottom portion. And this will be different depending on where you want to place your signals and all this stuff, depending on where your build is. So this one, I'm just going to take out over, send over a few blocks, get some more redstone. And then basically take 3 repeaters, have them connect into this redstone, and then this portion going out of that redstone. Now these you want to increase to the 3rd position, so 3 ticks. On all of these, it's just 1 tick. You don't change it at all. Keep it the same. This is going to slow it down to give time for the flashing light to actually process. Connect redstone back here, and then bring it out to where I'm going to put my signal for the redstone. Now I'm going to place a block here, and then this one is going to be for where I want my receiver to start from. I'm just going to place it here. Now I am using the Redstone link, which is part of the Create mod, which it functions almost like a remote control. It'll send a signal into a receiver, and you can make redstone things happen. If you do not have the Create mod, you can do this in a vanilla way where you just create a simple loop with your redstone to cause a signal to transfer into here. So basically turn it on, it starts, turn it off, and it'll transition. It'll make a little more sense as I'm making it with this redstone link. So basically I have my initial redstone link, and then the receiver it's going to convert this into a receiver. I'm going to shift and right click, and it puts this receiver portion. The next thing I need to do is to connect these to make sure this is sending a signal into this one. The way that you do that is to take any 2 random blocks. It doesn't matter what it is, but into frequency 1, I want to place an item. So I placed a stone button. Into frequency number 2, I'm going to put a torch. Again, it doesn't matter what you put in as long as it matches up within your frequency 1 and frequency 2 over here. So since those are synced, when I do something or to activate this, it will send a response over to here. So the idea is to then put a lever. My machine's completed, and basically what happens is when I turn this on, the redstone signal sends to here. The redstone converts through here. It starts going through these ticks. and then it will send a signal over to here, and then it starts going back to these ticks for it to start back over. When I select and click this lever, I want to turn it on and then turn it off, because if I keep it on, it will keep a redstone signal going through here, which won't allow it to cut back off and start again. You'll see it as I activate it. So on, off, connected, connected, sends a redstone signal, connects it, and sends it through all of those items there. Again, sends the signal. We have the tick pattern here, which slows it down. It allows it to create a steady loop for the lights. So you can see on here, this bottom one is not activating. Well, of course, I get done and I figure out I screwed something up. Okay, so I'm supposed to have more of these repeaters in this section here. It doesn't make sense because it's everywhere except in this bottom one here. So I apologize, but I'm going to dig this out and fix that to show that it does functionally work. Okay, so block, redstone repeater, block, redstone repeater. And it will stop right at the very end before that redstone light. Now, it all works. So if you want to make it into lettering, what you need to do is get a button. What I want to do is I'm going to make a T for Timothias. So I can put on these stone buttons, turn them off, have it start its programming, and boom. We can see the light transfers into our T. Now, if you want to do this the opposite way and have the T section itself be lit up, all you have to do is lay down buttons into these blocks, click them to turn them off, and it will do the same thing, but in reverse. And here's an example of it with the center section, the T lit up. So the opposite of what I was just showing on there. So you can change out the letters to whatever you want. You can also increase this. Let's say you wanted this to be 15 wide and 10 tall. All you have to do is copy the same process all the way over, or however high you want to do it. In my example on my wheat farm, I have it separated to where all of these activate at the same time. So the taller it is, the longer it's going to take for that pattern to make its way all the way up. But since each of these are built in that same exact way, and I have controllers that control each of them, they all activate at the same exact time. So this is the inside of my wheat building, and you can see it's just the same exact thing for each and every letter. And all I've done is created the same pattern on the sides for them to activate, and I've just made more of these receivers that all have the same signal input. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the how-to, and I hope this helps out to make your Minecraft world a little more fun, a little more interesting. I will be coming out with more episodes shortly and some how-tos, some more how-tos. So if you have a request on a how-to or an episode, just drop it down in the comments. But until then, stay sharp, stay creative, and I'll see you on the next build. Gone get.